Godforge Alpha Wave I has come to an end. Although it ended early, our appetite for more remains. Hello there, I'm tmib. I participated in Wave 1 and beat level 150. While mostly on PC, I also tried it out on my Samsung S23 running Android 15. Today we're going to break down two rare heroes that I feel are a must build for Wave 2 and 3, and possibly after. First is Shishi, a rare defender. They are easily farmable, which means awakening them is pretty easy. As you can see, mine was fully awakened, as indicated by the gold V on the hero thumbnail. Let's check out their kit. Their leader bonus gives 15% init increases in all battles. This is like an init up 1.5 buff for all of your heroes. The A1 or basic ability is Jade Protector. Attack one enemy with a 50% chance to place attack down 1 for 2 turns. This ability is great for helping to reduce boss damage, as attack down 1 reduces the boss's attack by 20%. A2 or core ability, Watchful Pride, attack one enemy and place defense up 1 for 2 turns on this hero. Defender allies and any Tion allies will join the attack using their basic ability. Shishi wants high defense, so having a self buff that increases defense by 20% is pretty good. The built-in joint attack for other defender allies and Tion allies can also help increase your DPS. Shishi's ultimate, Guardian's Roar, is why you're going to want to build this hero right away as soon as you get them. Place Protect 1 on all allies except this hero for 2 turns. Also place Shield 150% of defense on allies. If the ally is from Tion, then the buff cannot be removed. Gain 40 Divinity when hit by an enemy. Not only does this give Protect 1, which redirects 15% of the damage they take to Shishi, but shielding everyone goes a really long way in sustaining your team. Shields prevent damage by giving the hero a pool of temporary hit points that have to be used before they take real damage. Shields cannot stack or be increased. Shishi's passive, Steadfast, is also really nice. When an enemy attempts to place a debuff on an ally, it has a 60% chance to heal them for 3% of max hit points. If this hero received a debuff, place Barrier 50% defense on this hero. Barriers are sort of like Shield's big brother. It gives the hero another pool of hit points that are used before they take actual damage. However, unlike Shield, barriers can stack and be increased. This is the gear I had on my Shishi. As you can see, it's definitely nothing special, nor is it particularly optimized. The weapon I put on for the defense, the ability on the weapon is worthless on this hero as the ultimate does no damage. 1 rank 2, 2 rank 3, and 3 rank 4 pieces of gear, all around plus 12. Awakening, like all heroes I looked at, gives hero bonuses that improve abilities at levels 1, 3, and 5. They also increase init and divinity at 2 and 4 respectively. You've already seen these improvements as I went over their skills, but let's look through them really quickly now. Lastly, you can turn Shishi into an imprint for a weapon. If you do, you lose the hero, but you gain an imprint that you can apply to a weapon that reads, when an enemy attempts to place a debuff on an ally, has a 30% chance to heal for 3% of max hit points. I can only speculate, however I feel very little will change on this hero for Wave 2 or Wave 3. If you do not have another shield or protect one champion handy, Shishi is a great option. Personally, I plan to make this hero for Wave 3 as the community races to descend the depths into the Caverns of Chaos. Next is Skadi. Skadi is a disruptor Jötunn. They are also easy to farm and awaken. Mine was fully awakened. Let's check out their kit. Their A1 or basic ability, Trunda Vengeance, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 25% chance to place a freeze on the target for 1 turn. If the target is already under a freeze, place init down 1 on the target for 1 turn. Freeze does 2 things for us. First, turn meter fill effects are reduced by 50%. Second, any hero with a freeze on them skips their next turn. Init down 1 decreases the hero's initiative stat by 10%. This is one of the first multi-hit heroes that I found in Wave 1, and having control on their basic sounded pretty nice to me, even at a 25% chance. Their A2, or core ability, Frozen Arrows, attacks 3 random enemies. Each hit has a 50% chance to place freeze on a target for 1 turn. Increase this hero's accuracy by 5% each time a freeze is placed by this ability, stacking up to 10 times. Again, we have control on the form of freeze, which makes the enemies skip their turn. Accuracy requirements in Wave 1 were incredibly low, but once they're adjusted, I think the second part of the skill will make it much easier to build Skadi out. In fact, here's what Hellhades said about accuracy in Discord. It was working, but the numbers were so low, it was basically irrelevant. So does that mean will and resistance numbers will be higher in Wave 2? I highly suspect that they will, and when asked, here was Hellhades' reply. Thoughts on this? I thought the community would enjoy discovering stuff rather than here's everything you need to know about everything. He also said you might actually need to consider accuracy and resistance as well. Skadi's ultimate, Arctic Dominion, reads, attack all enemies with an 85% chance to place speed down 1 on each target for 2 turns. If the target is under freeze, place speed down 2 on the target for 2 turns. Gain 50 Divinity when freeze is placed on an ally or enemy. First, AoE slow of 10% is pretty big. Second, notice that the second sentence does not include the word instead. In Wave 1, Skadi could place both speed down 1 and speed down 2 on the same target. Now, I'm not sure how they calculate that on the back end, but a 10% and a 20% slow sounds pretty amazing. Gain 50 Divinity when anyone gets freeze is also nice, but let's just hope you're the one doing the freezing. Skadi's passive, Winter Prowess, says, when attacking enemies under freeze, reduce the target's divinity by 10%. Also, increase this hero's divinity by 10%. This is pretty good for waves, but is useless on bosses as you're never going to land a freeze on them. This leads us to gear. Remember, Skadi's basic hits twice. This makes her a good candidate for equipping the Ami no Nuhuko, which is a legendary weapon that steals divinity on every hit, which is very similar to her passive. You also do not need accuracy for weapons to function. When asked, here's Hellhades' response in Discord. We do not currently not on weapons though. Weapons currently behave like gear sets. What the community has taken this to mean is that you do not need accuracy for weapon abilities to land. As you can see, I had much better gear on Skadi when compared to Shishi. 1 rank 2, 1 rank 3, and 4 rank 4 with 2 set bonuses. I didn't actually know accuracy was a dump stat in Wave 1, but then again, I never saw a good reason to change the high level of accuracy that I had. Again, Awakening improves abilities at levels 1, 3, and 5, and increases Init and Divinity at 2 and 4. What may not be obvious at first is that the icon on the upper left is the ability that level of Awakening enhances. Skadi brings good crowd control to the table and can also help control enemy divinity, preventing them from using their ultimates. She fills her role easily at level 50 and will fill those roles until you get someone better to do so. Who's better? Well, that depends. For crowd control, I would argue that the legendary Anubis is better. Anubis puts Despair on the entire enemy team for 1 turn when it kills something. Despair has a similar turn skip mechanic, but also blocks beneficial buffs. For divinity control, the Epic Green Knight's basic hits 3 times. With the Ami no Nuhuko equipped, this outshines Skadi's 2-hit basic. Again, I can only speculate, but I would be very surprised if they had any real changes in store for this hero for Wave 2. Either or both of these heroes provide very useful kits that will definitely help you with your progression. I plan on building both of these heroes next wave and Wave 3. If you found this information useful or would like to hear more breakdowns, please click the subscribe button below. Thank you, and until next time, Forge on.